So my name is Isadora. So a lot of people just call me Dora. I'm a TRIZ level 3 practitioner and TRIZ level 1 and 2 instructor. So today's topic is basically on TRIZ ideas for business innovations. So all innovations emerge from the applications of a very small number of inventive principles and strategies that is presented by TRIZ. So when business are hit with crises such as natural disasters and political instability, or as we are now facing the global pandemic, we struggle against multiple negative forces. And so naturally resources are reduced and more often than not becomes expensive. So people, time, space due to downsizing, we have to reduce in order to sustain the business. And cost and information, in terms of information, there's not much of the lack of information, rather there are abundance of information to be sifted through, which costs time and money. And the thing is, the question that we often ask, which information is needed, which information is relevant, and with reduced resources, that limits our capabilities in finding the right information, the right knowledge to be relevant to our business. And so we need innovation, and innovation is needed to survive competitive industries now more than ever. So not just innovation, but it has to be intensified innovation. So traditional methods of innovation takes time, a lot of time. So that's why people always say that if you want to innovate, you must be geniuses. But with TRIZ, it's a different story. So with traditional methods, okay, you have to improve. You have a number of problems and ideas and innovations about very when you are working on a product. Obviously, you will have a lot of ideas. But from
can I interrupt? Can you make the slide bigger? Thanks.
Okay. Just now.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Zaid, for the remarks.
Okay. All right. So okay. So when we have a lot of ideas, thousands and thousands of ideas, so we reduce it into maybe about 5,000, and then we reduce it further to 3,000 raw ideas, and then 300, and then we begin to explore these ideas, and then we reduce it into 100 and maybe about several hundreds of products. Okay, and this takes a lot of time, and eventually from all these thousands and thousands of ideas, we only can manage to produce only one successful product. And so it takes a lot of time, and it wastes a lot of resources that we cannot afford. Okay, so sources of knowledge comes from, obviously, from libraries, from the internet, from patents, and from our observations from nature. And from this knowledge, so we have so many tools that can help to find and organize this information, these thousands and thousands of information. But then the tools are old-fashioned. It's not systematic. So with TRIZ, okay, which is theory of inventive problem solvings, it is basically power tools that can help us innovate, and it is a process that is repeatable and predictable and also reliable. Okay. So what is TRIZ? TRIZ is basically theory of inventive problem solving. It is what is inventive problem? So if you have a 1,000 kilo load and you put it on a shelf or a table, and the table collapses. Okay, so that means that the table is not strong. So what happens? We want a stronger table. So we change the table, the material of the table, maybe from plastic to metal. So the problem is solved. That is a normal problem. But the thing is, we want the table to be strong and light at the same time. And that is inventive problem, an inventive problem that we don't want to compromise any features of our requirements. So you want, so that is something that is contradicting. So it means that, for example, okay, you want to be skinny, but you want to eat a lot. So that is contradiction. So when there's contradiction, there's that is inventive problem. Okay. So it is a very structured and systematic approach. It has a methodology with a set of tools that can helps you frame the problem and model the problem and model the solution. So it is the father of TRIZ is Genrich Altschuler. He was a Caspian Sea military navy officer assigned to a patent office. He discovered TRIZ in 1946 when he was imprisoned during the Stalin regime in Russia. And so during his time in prison, he had obviously a lot of time on his hands. And he basically studied a lot of patents. And from there, he developed the TRIZ method. And so the patents that he studied was around 200,000 patents. And he could, from there, he discovered that the problems and solutions were repeated across the industries and sciences, across the patents. So from these 200,000 patents, he was able to come out with 40 inventive principles. So these principles were being used and over again throughout the patents. So he could see there is a pattern in these patents. Right. And from this 200,000 patents, he found that about approximately 40,000 patents have contradictions. And from these contradictions, there are, for the example that I have given to you, like, okay, you want a large table, but at the same time, it has to be light. Okay, so you want something that is long when it is in use, but short when it is not in use. So these are contradictions, and so these contradictions is what he observed, and he made the patterns of the patterns that he observed in these contradictions. He is also repeated across these patents, and from there evolved the trends of technology system evolution. So he could see the patterns again of the same contradiction happening across 40,000 patents. And from this contradictions, okay, he also discovered that when there is the innovations that are being used, that uses scientific effects outside the field from the original problem, okay, so basically you have patents that are using scientific effects from one field, but actually it can be used for another field to solve another kind of problem. For example, okay, the stealth technology. Okay, so this is not an example from the patents itself from Genrich Altschuler, but I want to show you the examples of scientific effects. Yeah? So scientific effects like the stealth technology, it was used to make the jet plane invisible, but the same technology inversed it was used as a breast cancer detection, where the tumors that is in hiding, so-called, can be exposed. So this is an example from the experiment they did on rats. And also the frozen animation code helps to solve decades of old Russian cold case. So it is the animation in the avalanche in the movie was used to understand, to simulate the avalanche that was involved in a 60 years old Russian cold case. But how do you find these scientific effects? Okay, so in the case for the stealth technology, Emeritus Professor Barry Thornton of the University of Technology worked on stealth technology for the Electronic Warfare Division of the US Air Force and realized that the two problems were related when he was asked for ideas on how to improve the interpretation of mammograms. So basically, the professor was several years ago was asked to work on mammograms, images of mammograms. And then when he was working in the US Air Force, he found that this technology can be used in the previous project that he was working on. And then for the frozen animation case, okay, the Johann Gaum, who is the head of Swiss Federal Technical Institute, named the Snow Avalanche Simulation Laboratory, was watching the movie, and he saw that the snow movement in the movie was realistic. And so he asked for the code from the Disney animators. And so, but this is, okay, this is when destiny, ada jodoh, okay? But so do we have time to wait for our last lucky stars to meet, and then so that that we can solve the problem, that we can innovate? So do we have time to tunggu bulan jatuh ke riba, as our proverb describe? So we don't have that time, and that time is luxury for us. So that's why in TRIZ, okay, we model when we are presented with a problem, we model the problem first, okay? We model the problem. What are the values or parameter affected by the problem? And then we find the responding variables, and then is it worsening or is it improving? And so this we categorize it as engineering contradiction. Or, okay, so we have a situation where we have to, for instance, change the driver or the condition. Okay, so we need to find the variable that can change this factor to an opposite state. So this is what we call modeled as physical contradiction. And then another problem model is if there is an area of dispute, okay, where we call it as or refer it to as zone of conflict. Okay, we categorize it as useful or a harmful area, and this we model it with substance field model. So this is generally how we model the problem. Okay, and then the solution model. So we have the inventive principles. Actually, there are 40 inventive principles, and we have standard solutions, and we have scientific effects, just as the examples that I've shown to you. So we have basically methods to find these solutions, okay, so that we can solve a problem within an appropriate amount of time, okay? So not to take about 60 years to create an innovation or to solve a problem or to come up with an innovation. So there are techniques to generate these solutions. Right, and we have also, this is a very powerful method in TRIZ, basically we have the forecasting. So we study, there's a model of how to find the transformation of a certain product or a certain model from understanding the main or understanding or identifying the main parameter value, and we analyze it at which stage of the transformation it is currently in. And the second forecasting method is the trends, okay? The trends of S-curve evolution. So in these trends, okay, you can see here, there are several trends of evolution. And from here, we can see, we can forecast what is the future product of our, what is the future of the product or the ideas that we currently have. And in these trends or forecasting, we try to achieve ideality. Means in ideality, in our terms, in TRIZ terms, means that an ideal system is no system at all. So meaning that you don't have a system, but it functions. We benefit from its functions. Okay, so TRIZ tools, there are more than 25 tools here. It seems very daunting or overwhelming. Oh my God, this is so complex. But actually it is not. Okay, once we follow the process of learning TRIZ and understanding these methods, everything on here that you see can be used in matter of minutes. Okay, matter of minutes. So it is just outlined as such, so that you can clearly see which tools that you should be able to use. So remember the image of the power tools. Basically, you just need to pull out what tools you need to use to be able to solve a problem. So you don't need to use all of this. Yeah. And in the beginning, the TRIZ tools were developed to understand or to solve engineering problems, but now it has evolved into several other fields, including business and management. Okay, so the same tools are being used in solving problems of business, HR, computer algorithms, and so on. Okay, so ideality and ideal final result, to find the ideal in something that is not ideal. So the definition of ideality is that we have a lot of functions. Okay, we have a lot of functions, but very little cost and no harm. Okay, so means that this is what we want, that you don't, the least cost and the least harm produces the most value. And so, okay, because we have to remember that people do not buy functions, they don't, people do not buy stuff, they buy functions. So we study, that's why TRIZ analyzes functions rather than products, okay? They analyze, we have a function model, and in TRIZ we have a function model, and from this model, okay, for instance, in this case, a person rides a motorcycle. So to analyze the system, which is the motorcycle, which moves the person, we have this model that we draw out and look at the interactions between the components, okay? And then we study what is the problem, which actually is the the component or the parameter that we need to look at thoroughly. So this is this is a very simple model, simple function model. Okay, so innovation strategy, we have to value engineering, as I said. So we need to increase functions, reduce cost, and then if we can add more functions to a certain product or a certain item, so that is better. So and then, but at the same time reducing cost. And so we have also a powerful tool that is called trimming. that is always used in when in product innovation. Okay, this is trimming. Okay, example of trimming. From a motorcycle, we trim parts, and then we have the Segway, and then we have a Segway without the handles, and then we have the hoverboard. Another example of trimming is we trim parts of the motorcycle, and we are left with a new product, and then with a one-wheeler system. Okay, so this is the method, product innovation methods used, one of the tools used in product innovation, one of the many tools that we used in product innovation. So trends of engineering system evolution, don't follow trends, start it. So in the trends of evolution, we can see that the states of matter trend from solid, liquid to gas. So we can see that, for examples, from the old bar soap method to liquid soap and then to gas soap. And we have the tires in the ancient tires, and currently we have tires with the rubber tubing, and now we have tires that is without any tubing that is produced by Michelin. Okay, Michelin. All right, so this is another, this is another example of trends, trends of elimination of human involvement. So we have the evolution of laundry cleaning. So before we have to pound laundry on rocks, and then we move on to tub and washboard, so the ladies don't have to go to the rivers to use the rocks. And then we have the wringer machine, and then we have the manual washing machine, and now we have the electric operated machines. So from labor intensive process, we have an automated process. And then another trends of transition to the super system. So together we have household chores that we have sub to the domestic helpers or cleaning services. And then we have an automated process. So now we have vacuums that can mop, vacuums that can steam, and then we have robot services who can, which can also do the house chores without having to have the person involved, human involvement in the chores. And so evolution of value added activities, trend of elimination of human involvement is obviously a pattern that we can see in businesses. Okay, we have labor intensive activities to automated activities to humanless activities. And then we have outsourced manufacturing, outsourced design, and outsourced services. So this is trends of transition to super system. These are all examples of the trends that we can see. Although it seems like it's very pretty obvious, but there are methods on doing there are methods that can actually how do you move from labor-intensive activities to automated? How do you move from automated to humanless activities? These are all described in the TRIZ. Okay, so art of innovation. This is what the scientific effects method. The scientific effects. The method that is being used is the function-oriented search. Okay, so from wafer fabrication, the same technology is used in the antique art restoration. So use function to find an existing technology and apply to that problem that you are trying to solve. So you are trying to solve a problem in a one field, but actually there is other technologies that can be used from other fields to be used in your problem. So how do you find that? So TRIZ helps you with that also. Okay, so these are other examples of function-oriented search, chameleon light materials that change color on demand. So we have here bent or flex silicon polymer thin film that bends. As it bends, it reflects light. And also we have here a mug that is cold. It is different color when it's cold, and it is a different color when it's hot. Okay, all right. So creativity technique. The idea behind TRIZ is that someone somewhere has already solved this problem, and one very similar to it. So it has been done. You just don't know who did it and how it was done. So creativity is now finding that the solution and adapting it to the problem. So here's how we define this model. Yes, okay. So we define in a structured problem solving process. So we define the problem, what is the current situation, identify the causes, develop solutions, implement solutions, and standardize the solutions. And what are the next steps? So in systematic innovation process, we have to look at opportunities exploration, opportunity selection, problem identification, problem selection, solutions generation, solution selection, project execution, and applications exploration. So here in TRIZ tools, what are the steps? The first step, okay, it is given by how to explore opportunities. These are the TRIZ tools, okay. What are the opportunity selection? We don't need that because we jump into the identifying the problem itself, okay, and then we have tools for solutions generation, and then we have tools to explore the application. So we have cut through a lot of steps. Okay, so in traditional thinking is that we have a lot of ideas and we converge the ideas into technical and critical, and you have, in the end, you have something that is divergent. Okay, it's open, it's not focused. Okay, so it's many to one to many in TRIZ. So the thinking process is that we focus into one problem, and this one problem can be made into generate a lot of solutions. I'm sorry that I'm going a bit too fast because I'm taking Dr. Mai's time. Right. So can anyone be an innovator? Yes. Okay. Through TRIZ tools, innovators can be made. Right. Can be made, not born. TRIZ success stories. Okay. So here are examples of success stories from TRIZ. We have in 2012, there was a competition for my TRIZ. So Talc University basically developed this exoskeleton project. And then in 2021, we saw 2021 and a bit before that, we see that this is already developed by companies. Okay, but it's not being developed by Talc, but other companies. Yeah, but the idea was generated for even before that. And then we have, remember we have nasi lemak burger. Okay, the idea was generated in 2013, and McDonald's produced that in 2017. Okay, but it's not to say that Isaac Lim have some royalties from this. No, it's just that it was presented earlier on, okay, by a student. Okay, and this is Dr. Zulhasni. He came up with the universal sponge glove with liquid dispenser. Okay, combining these two methods together. And then in 2014, Monash University students came out with Tag It and Find It, okay, lost item finders. And it was in 2014, the idea was developed by students in a workshop, okay. And in 2017, we have Tile Pro, then we have anti-loss tracker. All these ideas came about several years after the workshop. Okay, and then we have a student from MRSN Taiping who came out with this road verge marker that raise and lower to water level, increasing visibility, enhance safety for road users. So basically, we have all these students coming out with ideas of product innovations in a matter of attending 2 days workshop. So this is how powerful TRIZ is. So the only issue for the students is basically just to produce that product, to manufacture, because we need a garage system that that people from electronics, people from manufacturing, from mechanical come together in one place and work this thing out. Okay, so these are the companies that have implemented TRIZ, and basically, I think we have people, participants from Infineon. You have also experts, already experts in Infineon, and then we have HP, and our mentor is from Intel. And so all these companies in Malaysia are implementing TRIZ techniques. So this is the learning pathway. I think Dr. Mai Mariam will cover this. And so in conclusion, okay, innovation is easy and is with TRIZ tools, okay, and it is needed to survive in this competitive industry, in competitive and very trying times. Yeah? So so I would highly recommend that you give a shot to TRIZ. So in our program, we also offer if you want to try out TRIZ, okay, give us problems, invite us. We can come to your place for one day, and we can try to solve problems that are being presented to us. Yeah, so this is our CSR punya initiative from MyTRIZ. Yeah? So Dan Eng Ho is one of from MyTRIZ, so he's the one that coordinates all the programs. Okay, but obviously you can keep in touch with us. So thank you for your time. I'm sorry, Dr. Mariam, that I took so much time from you.
Just now you see that TRIZ more about products, but actually TRIZ also can be used in business and management. Yeah. So my part will explain how TRIZ can solve problem in business and management. So so you're okay. So you know already about the 40 Inventive Principles. Yeah. As you can see, the words here more like a product. But how can we use these words in business and management? Okay, so I'm going to show a few examples. How can we how can we use this in a management application? Yeah? Okay, like for example, principle 1, segmentation. Okay, divide an object into independent parts. Sound like a product, sound like a technical, but if we use this in a business or management, we can actually, use the same principle. Like for example, like here, segment multiple similar installation. Okay, like into separate installation modules, or divide a workforce, micro or macro, into functional areas, or multiple sales interface, like kiosks, mobile, storefront. Divide an organization into different profit centers. Okay, segment a large project into tasks. Segment your market by customer profile. Delineate different product attributes to customer. So you use the principle. Yeah, you use this principle in the management area. Okay, another example, make an object easy to disassemble. This is also a segmentation. Okay, like a mix and match service, flexible saving plans, use third-party business service, or use contract workers, a modular manufacturing process, or modular panels for office spread, yeah, office space. So intermodal shipment system. Okay. So another example, taking out. Okay, the definition of taking out is separate and interfering part or property from an object, or single out the only necessary part of an object. So in a business or management area, Okay, it's like you provide only highest value added service or products, and contract support service, or eliminate weakness based management philosophy. Yeah, concentrate on employee strength. There are no bad employees, just a bad system. Okay. Okay, another example. Beforehand cushioning. Yeah. So in technical, it's like a prepared emergency means beforehand to compensate for the relatively low reliability of an object. But okay, we can use the same principle in management or business area, yeah, or application. So like for example, develop contingency plans, yeah, economic emergency, headcount, etc., or achieve important information remotely, or install antivirus script before the virus affect the system, or include schedule penalties into contracts. Yeah, so so you just use the idea, yeah, the I mean, these are synonyms. Yeah, another way is a synonyms for management, yeah. Okay, the principle 13, another example. Okay, the other way around. So you just okay, the definition is invert the action used to solve the problem. So in technical, like instead of cooling an object, heat it. So but in management, you say the example, for example, is that there are no bad people, only bad process. Build products after they are ordered, yeah, or customized product after they are ordered. So the other way around, instead you build, you produce and you sell, or what if you so the other way around, or in turn the object upside down. So synonym in a management area of business area: provide highest level of service at the end of the product life cycle, or develop a rapid reaction organization that dynamically responds to environmental change instead of trying to forecast them. Yeah. So this is an example for the other way around. Another one, skipping, okay, or rushing through, hurrying. Yeah, you do the rapid prototyping, conduct a process or certain stage at high speed, or reduce approval hierarchy to just one single approval. And another example, yeah, porous material. In the management, you also can use this principle. Okay, like for example, create permanent temporary position in a organization structure to be filled periodically as business variation require it. So it's like a porous, yeah, porous materials. Porous material is like you have a hole in that object. So you fill that object with a temporary. So that hole would be the temporary position. For another example, if an object is already porous, so use pores to introduce a useful substance or function. So in management or business area, you just it's like a fill holes in organization structure with expanded capabilities. Like for example, hire administrator with a marketing background, or use holes in organization structure to be filled by a roving staff member that helps bridge inter-organization gaps and communication flow. Okay, these are example how you can, you can find the synonyms for the 40 IPs, inventive principle in the management of business area. So now, of course, you know that TRIZ is about structure problem solving. Okay, so now I want to show you how we can use use TRIZ to solve our inventive problem. One of the tools is engineering contradiction. Let's say we have introduced many product variation, and these have helped increase our market share. So, however, the production and administration departments are complaining as it is very difficult to coordinate and produce in mass production. So, what can we do differently? So, you have many product variations, yeah, and it's good for your business, but you have another problem. Because of that, you have another problem because you have difficulty in to produce in mass production and to coordinate. Yeah. So the problem, so EC will find the keyword of the problem. So what is the contradiction in this problem? Yeah, is a more product variation. If more product variation are introduced, if you have more product variation, then the good thing is customer have more variety to choose. But the bad thing is productivity is impacted. Yeah. So these are the keywords. Yeah. So TRIZ try to compromise. Try to compromise the bad and goods. Yeah, so that you have a good the good for both aspect, yeah, for both aspect, customer and also the production. Yeah. So what you should do is you have of course in these tools you have to know the 39 parameters, and sound like a very it looks like a very technical, very product, very how can we use these parameters, yeah, in management or business application. So this is just now EC. If more product variation are are introduced, then customer have more variety to choose. So from the 39 parameters, you can use, it's the same thing. It's same meaning for adaptability and versatility. Yeah, more variety. Yeah, so it's learning with the number 35, adaptability and versatility. And the bad outcomes from this action, the product variation, would be the productivity is impacted. So productivity, same meaning with the ease of manufacture and productivity. Okay, from this also you have this contradiction. And if you know if you go to the TRIZ workshop, so you know the next step will be you have to go through the contradiction matrix. Okay, this matrix, yeah, because it's from the Schuler investigation and synthesization of the thousands of patents. So he found out that certain contradiction have a certain solution, certain IP, inventive principle. So from this contradiction matrix, you find a potential solution. Yeah. So the potential solution will be like segmentation. The suggestion given from the contradiction matrix would be like segmentation and the other way around. So you use this keyword and you try to look into your problem, how you can solve by using these keywords. So this is a suggestion would be segment products by volume demand. Yeah. this segmentation, segment the product by volume demand. You have the demand, so you just produce just some.
Meeting. Yang nak biar sebelah habis.
Ya?
Sebelah habis,
Sorry?
10.50 kau masuk. Mantap.
Sorry, ada masalah ke?
Muhammad,
Ada soalan ke?
Mr. Muhammad Nur Aiman, do you have any question? Muhammad Nur Aiman, tu sebut nama aku. No. I think he's ter-unmute.
Okay, boleh sambung?
Boleh.
Tak ada soalan.
No.
Okay, the other way around is then perform batch build for small quantity demands instead of regular uniform build. Yeah, instead of you build more product, or how about you just build small quantity demands instead of regular uniform build. So it based on your demand. You produce bit by bit, or you wait for a demand, then you produce. So another one suggestion is a universality. So universality as a universal kit for fast changeover to enable conversion from different product levels. Yeah. So your variation of products, how about you make it like you can be changed quickly. Yeah. If for example like KFC, yeah, they have different flavors of the chicken, like for example sometimes they have garlic. They just change the spice. They don't have to change all the dapur, everything. No, they have to change the kitchen. They just change the spice. So then they have the different products. So just like that, the universality. So that's example in a business in the production. How about if you want to manage people? Yeah, how to manage people? So this is one. This is another example. As part of our product ramp, we managed to double the people productivity. So, however, we are starting to see trends of sick leave and complaints about the added workload. So, if we reduce the workload, it may jeopardize our company revenue. So, what is best option? So now the problem is you have more products, but you start to see that your employees complain and sick leave. So how can we do this? If you reduce the workload, you reduce the production, then you jeopardize your company company profit. So the EC, if employee productivity is double, then company will be able to meet customer demand, but employee health worsen. So from the parameters, is the improving parameter is power. Yeah, power means not power is mean the output. Yeah, your output can be your productivity. Your revenue and everything. Yeah, it's same meaning as the output. So number 21. And reliability, robustness, 27. And worsening parameter, your employee had worsened, they had become stressed. And also they become affected by the work environment. So number 30 and 11. So from the matrix contradiction matrix, so these are the solutions recommended, and from these we can choose which are suitable in our problem, or which are more which can be done to solve our problem. Yeah. So number 10, you provide challenge for employees where they reach certain stretch output milestone, and celebrate when milestones are achieved. Or you can, number 19, provide regular appreciation for work done by employees to ensure management focus is always present. So you mismatch with the it's like you give the job and you celebrate, so your employee become, yeah, sometimes when they feel down and then you make them happy again, so that can probably can improve their productivity there, and so their help their help. Yeah, so that's all from me, and this is so I showed you the several example how we can use TRIZ in management or in business. And also, like example one, from there you can also build your new business model. Yeah. So yeah, so TRIZ not only can use in engineering, also can use in management as well.